This is part 2 of our lesson on cosine law. So we just discussed how cosine law can be used to calculate a missing angle or a side in a triangle that doesn't necessarily have a 90-degree angle in it. So we're going to take a look at example B. Example B has an angle of 59 degrees. It has a side of 150 meters, 115 meters, and a missing side x. So we are going to try to use cosine law here. So the first thing you want to do when you're using cosine law is find your angle. So I know this angle here, which is 59 degrees. The word angle starts with A, so I'm going to call this A. And I used an uppercase letter for angles. That's what we usually use. And then the side across from that is going to also be A, but we're going to use a lowercase a to label that side. Now you get to choose. The other ones are B and C. So I'm going to pick maybe this corner over here to be B, which means the 115 is my little b. And then I'm going to pick this corner up here to be C, and then that means this side, the 150 meters, is my little c. All right, so the formula looks very complicated for this one, but once you're doing the calculation, it's really not that bad. The formula is little a squared equals little b squared plus little c squared minus 2 times our side b times our side c times cosine of angle A. So A is x, so x squared equals little b, 115 squared, plus little c, 150 squared. Take away 2 times b, which is 115, times c, which is 150, times cosine of A, which is 59 degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do, leave the x squared alone. I am going to work this whole big thing out on my calculator. So I'm not going to hit equals until I get to the end. And that is the number one problem people have with this, is they want to hit equals in the middle. You have to wait until you get to the very end. I'm also checking that my calculator is in degrees first. Otherwise, this isn't going to work out very well. So I'm going to do 115 squared. You can do 115 times 115 if you need to. And then plus 150 squared. Take away 2 times 115 times 150 times. Now, if you have a calculator where you see the word cosine, you're going to do cosine of 59. But on mine, I don't see cosine when I press it, so I'm going to do 59 cos equals. And I get this number here. This is not my final answer. I know that because this isn't x, it's x squared. So I need to write all of this down. So I have 17,956.18642. Okay, so that isn't my final answer because it does have a square on it. In order to cancel out the square, we are going to do the opposite and square root. So I'm going to take this number and square root. Now I can just press my square root button. You might have to use a second function to get your square root, and you might have to do second square root and then hit equals to get it to put this number back in. But either way, I'm just going to hit my square root button, and I get 134.00. I take a peek at the next number, which is another 0. So this is going to be 134.00. And that should be in meters. All right, that's how you use cosine law. So go and try some practice.